I was feeling on top of the world. Bought 2 Koenigseggs at that time.
You were two.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways,
Two. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. Did you keep the 2, or did you think
I
Too
kept
small.
one.
you
But
kept one? Yeah, that makes sense. But then, when you then hit those losses, what was your mindset like then? What were you thinking then when you're taking these sizable losses that you probably
yeah,
weren't taking previously?
it's not about the losses, about the money. It's more about what I was thinking. Because I'm not supposed to take this type of loss.
Mm.
It's for me. It's
Outside your plan?
yeah, outside of my plan, and it's really an amateur move. It's more of like you're buying 0-day expiration call options.
Mm.
You know, it's very gambling. So every month I tend to go back and look at my trades. Is this loss actually necessary for me to take? Am I learning from this loss? Is it actually following the statistics? You have to be really disciplined, because some losses, there's exceptions that ticker that doesn't really follow the pattern. So those losses are necessary. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But for losses that's made by pure emotional mistakes, that's not acceptable for me.
So the process then, obviously, you created this perfect trader that you can try and hold accountable, keep you humble as well, keep the ego down.
Yeah.
But the process of you reviewing your trades then, when you identify these mistakes, what are you doing? What are you writing? Are you writing? Are you trying to, what's the self-talk like when you're reviewing the trades each month?
So I pick out the biggest gains and biggest losses, because some of the gains are made also based on instincts, and also maybe a little gamblish with risk controlled. So I want to make sure that which is the trade that I'm supposed to make, which is not, and how I'll be able to consider which one is the trade that I'm supposed to make. Is they have to follow a certain pattern. For example, multi-day runner, did they run 3 consecutive days with more volume compared to previous day? How much dollar bot did they reach? And where's my entry? Am I close to the consolidations, or did I identify there's a certain risk? Did I amplify my risk based on the trend was developing throughout the day? And am I trading? Am I over trading? If the ticker doesn't fit any pattern, I'm just randomly buying or shorting something. That's something that I need to be improved in next month. So,
In terms of that though, have you ever identified a trade where it was against your plan, but it was actually a winner?
went against my plan, but it was actually a winner.
Hmm.
That I won on that trade, or no?
Yeah, you won on the trade. So when you're reviewing it, you realize, actually, wait, this trade here,
And I need to take it out.
but you take it out of your data.
Yes, it's not the money I'm supposed to make.
Mm.
Every penny that I made by luck, or went against my plan, that I even made money, that it's the money I'm going to lose in the future.
Hmm.
So
Is that the way you see it?
that's the way I see it.
Is that what is necessary, do you feel like? So like these processes that we've talked about, so the collection of data, the statistics, reviewing your trades every month and identifying, on multiple levels, did you perform well? And even holding yourself accountable and understanding that even if you won money by luck and not really with your plan, that you hold yourself accountable even in those moments. How important is that to be able to perform at the level that you do and just be generally a consistently long-term profitable trader?
It's very important, because same psychology as you go into casino. You make money that based on luck, and you will always think about that money, and you will go back and lose it. So it's the same thing in the stock market. You make money that you shouldn't supposed to be make, then you gotta cut it going into the next month. So make sure that always control risk. It's don't make gambling trades.
Do you believe that if traders followed, say, the blueprint of everything that you've done, that they could achieve the same results? Or do you believe that there's only a very few and finite amount of traders who can, in the retail world and from the independent traders who can hit that 8-figure return level and multi 8-figure return level?
it's very difficult. I think the statistic is right, and there's only, I believe it's even worse, like 92. If there's 100 people, 92 people will not make it, and the rest of 8 people, 4 people will cut it even. Then going to the rest of 4 people, then 2 people will be barely up, and there's gonna be 2 person left. One person is up 100K, and the first person is up 10 million. So it's I have a lot of brokerage owner friends, and they tell me the statistics. It's actually like that. So
do you think there's something special about that one person, that it's not something that someone could learn to become, but something really just within them that makes them different?
a lot of people go into this industry because they see how much money they can make. I actually love trading. I just love being there and love to being competitive, but you cannot be so competitive that you feel FOMO about it. So be willing to take the loss. First of all, people are not coming into this game for the right reason, and second, they cannot last as long. And people tend to get too emotional, fight one ticker for 1 or 2 days, blow up their account, they never come back again. And the key component for this is you have to be in this game long enough to see how yourself really behave throughout the years, and find a way to actually, like a method to, let's say, withdraw your money after a profitable win. Think about that withdrawal money is actually a loss. Find method to counter yourself, because it's very I would say anti-human nature game. So and a lot of people are not in this for, they give up in the middle, maybe in the course of 1 or 2 years. They don't really focus on the strategy they're developing. They don't have the passion about it. All they have passion about is how much money they can make. And they don't put enough work into it. It's a very boring because for myself, I'm sitting here, and maybe tomorrow there's no trade, maybe day after tomorrow there's no trade. You're expecting, pretty much you are not expecting you are going to make money tomorrow. So it's, a lot of people can't really handle that. Maybe 3 months, 6 months. So
let's take a break for a minute there, guys, because I want to tell you about our incredible partnership with PropFirmTrader.com. Majority of you out there are prop firm traders. You're using prop firms to leverage your trading skills to be able to get more capital and to be able to absolutely change your life. So what's important to you? To be able to find the right challenge for you with the best firms, and most of all, the best prices. And that is exactly what PropFirmTrader.com does. PropFirmTrader.com allows you to compare prop firms, be able to find the best challenge suited to your trading style, and get you the exclusive best discounts in the entire industry, so that you're paying the cheapest price possible for your prop firm challenge. So on PropFirmTrader.com, you'll be able to use filters to be able to do that and find the exact challenge for you, be able to find your favorite prop firms. Just look on screen right now. You can see futures firms, you can see CFD firms with offers up to 50% off, which is incredible. And you can also see Alpha Capital there with a one-step challenge with 25% off using PFT1. And there's so many more exclusive discounts only on PropFirmTrader.com. It is the go-to site for all prop firm traders out there. And one thing I'm really excited about that I personally helped to organize was the giveaway of giveaways, the 7-figure giveaway, just through purchasing your challenges for the best price through PropFirmTrader.com. Every single week, you will automatically be entered into an incredible giveaway, a collaborative effort across all of these firms on screen, between 100 to 200K accounts, over 7 figures. It means that one person every single week who's made a purchase through PropFirmTrader.com will be getting 7 figures in challenges that can completely revolutionize your trading journey. Again, all you do is, for any of the firms on PropFirmTrader.com, use the code PFT at checkout, and you will automatically be entered every single week. The link for PropFirmTrader.com is in the description below. Now let's get back to the episode.
Do you feel like there's a lot of people who call themselves traders, but more so they're just addicted to the markets, and therefore they probably should quit, but they keep trying because they're essentially addicted to the P&L. They're essentially gambling, so they're actually just gambling addicts, but within the markets versus say in a casino. And a large part of that problem is that why their resistance to change, to actually, as you say, do the work, actually treat it for what it's meant to be, and essentially really compete and think of it in that way. Because when I've spoken to, thankfully, you know, through this tour, I've got to speak to some verified 7-figure and 8-figure traders, and it's the same mindset. It's that mindset of the competitiveness. It's not trying to compete with, you know, other traders. It's just their performance and how they can be the best performance possible within the markets. And I see that clear difference, as you mentioned, like the money. Yeah, the money's great, and that's a byproduct though of that performance and of that focus on your process, versus the people who only focus on the money. They ignore process, and as a byproduct they end up losing money, while the ones who are focused on the process and that competitiveness, as a byproduct they end up making
I don't know.
money.
Yeah.
So do you feel like there's a lot of traders out there who have that mindset? They just have a gambling mindset and end up just they think they're passionate about the markets, when in reality they've just essentially become addicts to the market.
That I agree a lot, because it's I taught many students, and they're seeing how they more 90% of them becomes gamblers. They make one huge trade and they think they can make it again. It's actually making a huge gain in one trade is not very good for beginner traders, because they don't know how to handle that emotion. So then it turns into a gambling habits, and they just got addicted to it. Yeah.
What do you say to those traders then when you see that happening?
If you're really aiming for the long game, you have to know inside out of your own strategy. Let's say you're trading a smaller cap, and now I have a person that's also expert in small cap. I ask you, what's the best minimum threshold resistance for you to short at? You will be able to give me an answer. What's the minimum pullback percentages in terms of decimal points for a red day? You will be able to give me an answer. Not you sitting there, okay, well, I think it's going to go red. Well, maybe I'm going to cover here. Maybe I'm going to do that. It's not accurate. And if you're in here for full time, then make sure, you know, you look like a full time, you know, so.
So really putting in that effort, as we talked about earlier, rather than just doing carbon copy and paste and just thinking, okay, I'll watch this video or I'll learn this information here, but actually not just applying it, but actually learning the statistics behind it, finding the data behind that information, regardless of what that information is, spending the time to do so, because you essentially, that's adopting that performance mindset. It's something one particular trader did to learn was they would record their screen during the trade, you know, and then they would review that and sometimes slow it down, just like you would in terms of being a professional athlete. You know, they would watch tapes of the other teams, learn the strengths and weaknesses, both from what themselves did in the game, but also their opponents. And it's the same principle. And I think a lot of traders are missing that. And that's something that's really opened my eyes in terms of the emphasis and focus on performance and how can we optimize performance. Is that something you're still doing to this day?
Yes, still doing to this day, yes.
What sort of things, is there anything recently that you've sort of identified that you can optimize, and then what did you do to optimize it?
Yes, there's a lot of ticker. For example, QBT, I did that trade. I made 1.2 million. In terms of sizing, in terms of executions, I could have done a lot better, especially on the entry size. That trade I could potentially made up to I don't know, $4 to $5 million. And there's another ticker, RGTI. I could have made at least 3 million instead of 1. So, and also I have some problems with the execution as well. So going to the next multi-day runner, I'm going to be more decisive on the when momentum tends to shift, and be more passive about tickers that's especially for multi-day runners. There's red day stuck in the middle. I need to slowly sizing in, not being very concentrated in one day. So
Interesting. So when you identify these things, do you look to then create processes for thereafter? So when you identify them the next time, you already have like a set structure to follow.
yeah.
It's so interesting how I'm sure people in the audience at home hear you say, "Oh, I made $1 million. I could have made 3." For them, it's probably
Oh, no, it's not about the.
it's not about the money, of course.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, that is the level of thinking, though. It's the level. It's not about the money side. It's about how do I perform better, right?
How do you?
There was a missed opportunity there.
It's more about how do you control risk to the maximum and amplify the reward to the maximum. That's why I said $3 million, because if I can handle more risk, of course I can make more. But always think about in your own shoes of how do you control your risk and into a way that you can amplify the reward into significant amount.
In terms of risk-wise, though, what does that look like for you? Are you sort of using a dynamic risk in terms of when do you grade your setups as well? Is there particular scenarios where you're risking a lot more versus other scenarios where you're risking less? We already talked about when you are taking losses, you'll half it down. What happens on the flip side?
If I start to win?
Mm.
So it's very interesting, because if I tends to short something like a multi-day runner that's into the $1 billion market cap, majority of the time stock tends to bounce. Once they bounce, that means there is another opportunity to short again. And also there's potential buying opportunities once the stock dips very much. So once I start making the first initial entry, I made, let's say, 300K, and then my original risk was 300K to 350K, and they can amplify my risk to 600 if I'm very confident. Then I will be able to generate maybe risk ratio 1-to-1. That's how I'll be able to make $1 million in one trade. Because my original risk is 300K. By the end of the day, I made 1.5, maybe even 2.5, because I was using the gains plus my original risk to amplify the reward. So
Interesting.
now if I'm down at the very beginning, then I'll be very conservative. Sometimes I'm too conservative that I didn't make the gain I'm supposed to make, but I'm okay with that. So
Because when you are making the profitable trades, as you said, you're paying yourself. Do you do that almost immediately, or is it something you do at the end of the week, month, and you're using the profits to your advantage on future trades during that period?
I do it immediately. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah,
So then you will just compound and use the portion that you leave in there.
correct. Yes.
Interesting.
And also make sure for beginning traders that doing that, make sure to set up 2 bank accounts for your backup account. Let's say you made a huge mistake at the very beginning. Everybody blew up, I think, in the beginning stage. Losing 50%, 30%, I think it's very normal, because people make mistakes. You have 2 backup accounts to put funds back in, so you start over again.
So not to just constantly go out, take the money out and then start spending it, and so therefore, if anything does happen, then you're
it's
not
more
in a
like
very
an
good position.
insurance.
Yeah.
To make sure that you stay in the game for a long time, to gain the experience.
Definitely. And in terms of trading, one issue that traders do face is that there's no guarantee of how much you'll make in trading. 1 month it could be 6 figures, next month it could be 7, 1 month it could be flat.
Yeah.
How important or how helpful has it been? Is it something that you've done where you've created income sources outside of trading, whether it's investments, whether it's businesses? Is that something that's been helpful? Is it something that you've done?
I have a few rental properties. They don't really generate great income compared to. If you have to take loans to amplify the reward. I don't really like that, so I just buy them in cash, and they don't really generate that much income, and maybe maximum 10% cap rate. And if you buy $1 million in terms of property and 10% 100K and divide by 12 per month, that's a few $1,000s a month. Right now, I would say the best is for traders in terms of passive investment, probably T-bills, because interest rate is pretty high. You can put money in the T-bills, and you can still be able to use the money that you trade. If you need the money, you just sell T-bills, and it's very liquid and very finished back in, and yeah, you should be good to go. So
I like that. And in terms of mentorship, when you started trading, was there any particular mentors that you had? Anyone that you're still in contact with this day, or is it more so sort of a self-taught journey?
it's more of self-taught journey. I'm very good friends with Tinker Townie. We play a lot of video games together, and we don't really talk about trading that much. It's sometimes he texts me and I ask, what do you think about this ticker? I say, okay, well, probably gonna drop today or tomorrow. But it's nothing very detailed in strategy and statistics. Yeah.
Because one thing that was interesting to me is I remember you mentioning a figure saying like the sort of limit a retail trader could probably get to is about 200 million.
Yes,